I promise you, Democrats are the most in the way people you will ever freaking meet. And I say it all the time. Here you are trying to pass bills that can't get done. Republicans are trying to keep things simple and black and white with clarity. But here comes a liberal, here comes a Democrat, always wanting to confuse something. No. We just don't want fresh water. We need to add our avocado juice and our chia seeds, okay? Just like the bills. Okay, you try to be sneaky and add your health care for illegal immigrants, your shared bathrooms, right? Your pet projects and whatever else. Republicans are like, we just wanted fresh water. Oh, you're going to shut down the government? You're shutting it down? We don't want to shut it down. We just want fresh water. We don't want your infused kombucha bullshit. Damn, why is Democrats still...
All right, so yeah, we see... All right, so yeah, pretty much the Dems have led this shutdown over some bullshit. There's no good reason why the government is shut down right now. All to try to get health care for people who aren't even citizens. This is the big issue. We have a party. I really truly believe this party dislikes America. I think the Dems have been hijacked, and their whole mission now is to undermine everything that's American. Law enforcement, the government, anything that's American, they want to undermine. And what's weird about this is you have officials and politicians who are Dems, who are the lawmakers, who speak against their own people, like Brandon Johnson. The dude is a mayor of a city, but then says that law enforcement is a cancer to society. Now the police are looking at him crazy. That's excuse me. That's an example right there. That's a really good example of how Democrats are operating now. They're anti-American and it's starting to show. You can't be against your law enforcement. You can't be against your officials. Who's the chick in Savannah and the girl Brianna who they dropped the case. I know it was a technicality, but it was nothing for a Democratic DA to kind of drop the ball. They knew they had to have this evidence or this video in by a certain time and they didn't have it. To me, that's just convenient. That's too convenient. Because Savannah, who is conservative, was doing street interviews against a woman who's liberal, and to avoid pressing charges, all right, let's get it dropped on the technicality. That's my belief on what happened on that. But back to this government shutdown. The last time we had this shutdown, which was like 7 years ago, it was over the same damn thing. Immigrants, illegal immigrants. That's what this was about. The border wall, them not wanting to contribute to that because they want to get all these illegals in the country so that they can legalize them and have a voter base, because the Democrats have no other way to get votes besides give some people free stuff, let them in, and then once they legalize them and say, hey, you know what? They made it here. Since they made it here, let's just legalize them, all of them, instead of going through all this trouble. And guess what? That's voters for them. It's the same thing that they do with black people. Every election come around, they talk about reparations or what could be done for black people. Vote us in and we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. And when they get in, don't shit happen. They pass all these social programs because they're pocketing that money. I truly believe they're pocketing that money. When they pass these, the wanting the health care for illegals, that's going to the elites. All that money is going to the pharmaceutical companies, is going to the hospitals. But guess what? It keeps running the deficit up. That's a big reason why our deficit is so high, is because we're funding bullshit. And that's what Republicans want to do. They want to cut back. But see, they demonize it to people who are addicted. That's the thing about liberals right now. Liberals are addicted to money from the federal government. And when you cut them off, it's like trying to get somebody to quit drinking or stop doing heroin. We got a half of the nation liberals who are addicted to federal government heroin. They don't want to lose SNAP benefits. They don't want to lose Medicaid, Medicare. They just want to sit around and receive it and not do shit for it. And I don't care either way because I have to pay for everything I get. I make a little too much money to get any of that stuff, so I really don't care. And to see the amount I pay in taxes, I'm like, cut all that shit. But the situation is so bad now that even CNN had to go against Chuck Schumer. This surprised me. I'm gonna play this video of them showing the hypocrisy and contradictions from Chuck Schumer.
This is the type of thing you've said about shutdowns in the past. Let's listen.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down? I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way. It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. Shutting down government over a policy difference is self-defeating. We can never hold American workers hostage again. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down.
That was you 3 times in the past. Go ahead. What's different this time?
Yeah, that was in March, John, before they had done these horrible things to health care, before they had introduced these rescissions which would allow them to ignore the budget process. When I was majority leader, we had 13 times to vote on a budget. Do you know why there was no shutdown? We sat and negotiated with the Republicans every time. They got some things, we got some things. They did not negotiate at all. Now that they've seen they can't bludgeon us.
Nah, bro. Republicans had to give up a lot to keep the government from getting shut down. Y'all, this is not that important. Healthcare for illegals is not that damn important. They're illegal. They're not citizens. They need to go back to their own countries and get healthcare there. That's not on us. We can't save the whole planet, and that's the problem. That's why America is drowning. Because we got these liberals now that want to help out the whole world. If you look at Ukraine, how did they sell the Ukraine war? They told us that women were oppressed over there and that they need to be free and liberated. And they got people all in their feelings. And guess what? We end up sending billions for something that has nothing to do with us. Now with these illegals, they want to still give them health care, give them hotels, all the stuff they were doing when they were in power. That's not going to happen now because Trump is running it. But half these cities' budget, Chicago is back down because it gave all that money to illegals, or it was the big part of the reason. There's a lot of other shit going on in Chicago, but that was a major reason. Housing all those immigrants, giving them food, giving them health care, all that now has Chicago stuck, especially with the Chicago schools. Because if they would have kept that money that they gave to the illegals, they probably would have had something to help out the school district. But now they're short. New York going through the same thing. And then in New York, you got a socialist person running for mayor right now. That's super socialist. And this is essentially what they have shut the government down. Chuck Schumer is pretty much leading the socialist movement. Because healthcare needs to go back to the private sector where it was at and let the market determine. When you got the government just pushing money into healthcare, we are in a capitalist society. Guess what these healthcare companies are going to do? They're going to say, hey, it's free money. Hey, we don't have to compete and lower our prices to get people over here. The government is sending us people and they're paying for them. So let's raise the price. Let's keep the price up. We don't have to compete. That's what keeps prices affordable, is that the businesses, these healthcare companies, have to figure out, how can I get the price low as possible and still profit and bring in customers. When you take that away, you get the prices just skyrocket. Because these businesses are doing what businesses do. They are in it for profit. That's what these liberals don't understand. They make everything good or evil and say businesses are evil for doing business. No, that's what they're supposed to do. They are a for-profit entity. So how do you keep the prices from going out the roof? You let them compete. And businesses aren't going to compete when they know they got free money coming in. None of us would. Because we're in it for the money. Everybody is greedy. I don't care what you say. Most people are greedy. It may not be money. It could be feel good. Whatever. You got some people who do stuff for other people not out the nicest of their heart just so they feel good. We are all selfish people. And as long as you got the government pushing in all this money, prices going to keep going up and we're going to stay in a deficit, and Republicans are trying to stop that. That's why they're like, we're not budgeting on this issue. We don't need to give money to illegals, and I agree with that. Get over here, get your papers. Once you become legal, you get all the benefits of being an American. Until then, no, you don't get that. You get to go home. The Democrats, they don't understand that the election was over in November. And that's what the whole Democratic voting process is. We got two different parties, or how many ever parties is in the lineup. We got different parties with different opinions and different strategies. We're going to hold a vote, and whoever the people vote in, that's who we need to listen to. Democrats. Trump was voted by the people. Y'all need to start fucking listening. He is the president. The people voted him. Y'all need to go with his strategy. Y'all need to stop fighting every fucking thing that he says. That's what's going on here. Everybody, all the liberals are still in election mode. Pritzker in Illinois sitting up here talking about Trump want to come in so he can set shit up for the election, the midterms. That's like the dumbest shit ever. We never going to get shit done if we're always worried about power and voting. There's a time where you worry about voting, and once the person's voted in, we forget that shit. We move forward and we build. But these motherfuckers want to stay on the voting and power, because that's what they are. They're power hungry. They don't give a shit about you. They're not trying to change nothing. They're just trying to keep their power and pretty much take away everything that makes America America so that they can feel good. The trans, all that. They don't want laws. They want the criminals to run the country, and then when the criminals get in trouble, they want us to show them leniency and say, oh, they made a mistake. They didn't mean it. No, lock their ass up. And then they taking fathers out the home. That's the thing. Democrats, they'll blame everything but the family structure. Why? Because they don't want a family structure. If you bring the family structure back, you have strong men leading. You're not going to have the Chicagos. You're not going to have the Memphises. You're not going to have the Detroits. Because it'll be small enough to be able to be handled by local governments. But when you got most homes, single mother homes, it's too much of the population that's causing shit. So they're going to keep trying to push all these programs and go against the Republicans who are about family. Charlie Kirk, he was about family. He was calling out shit to tell people, y'all need to get off this dumb shit, this DEI, all this other stuff. Black people, y'all need to get y'all shit together. Because he preached that a bunch. He said black people have the most fatherless homes. He called that out a lot. That's why a lot of y'all hate him, because he was telling the truth. So, y'all need to get on board, man. The government should not be shut down now. This ain't on Republicans, because they are in office. If it's that much pushback, you just need to go with the person in office says. That's what Republicans did. That's why there was no shutdown with the Republicans. In recent times, it's only been the Democrats. Why? Because they can't get past not having power. It is a power struggle. Democrats are narcissists. I'm gonna have another video coming out because I done lost a lot of friends over the same shit and they act the same way. But that's gonna be too much to talk about in here, so that's gonna be next. All right, y'all. Like and subscribe, or at the least just like the damn video. I'm out.